So welcome, Todd.
Good morning. No, good afternoon.
No,
I don't know what time.
For
What
me.
time is it?
Yeah,
It's afternoon for me. Yeah, I'm on the decline. You know, that after lunch. Woo!
Yeah, whereabouts are
But
you?
I'm fired up. I'm ready to get off the bench.
Good man. Whereabouts are you?
I'm in Ohio.
Fantastic. All right.
Yeah,
Good.
in the States. Yep.
Good. Well, I'm in Australia and right down the bottom, and it's 8:30 in the morning, and I've already done some building and hole digging, and I've already been to
Oh,
the
goodness
hardware
gracious.
shop and got a post and cut it in half and stuck it in the ground, and yeah, so I've
Good for
already
you.
knackered.
That's serious business. Though I've done, dug a few holes, and that's not it. That's
Oh,
not easy. That's labor
that's
right
not
there.
that's not easy.
I
It's
don't
all
care
my
what tool you have, unless you
no,
have an auger, and even then, it's throwing you all over the place.
no,
Hit a
I
root
don't.
and forget about it.
And it's all
Yeah,
clay, and it's not
it's all
fun.
clay. Oh
It's
gosh,
clay and rock.
that's not
Yeah.
that's not fun. All right, well, you put
So
your time in today.
so I'm on the decline too, Todd. All right.
We're both on a decline, but stick with us, folks. It's going to be a great one.
Oh, fantastic. Well, let me just introduce you first and then there's a couple of things I want to talk about because we just had a little off-air conversation and we think it's actually worth talking about. But Todd Bertsch I've got with me today is a keynote speaker, a mental fitness coach, creator of the Spark framework and the founder of Evolve Marketing. Oh, and also the host of the Bolt podcast. We're going to talk about all those things, but first of all, let's just jump into the conversation we just had off air. And Todd asked me, is my podcast weekly? And I said it was, but I lost mojo, lost momentum, and lost a bit of enthusiasm for it, and started to resent it a little bit because it was just an extra pressure on top of stuff. And Todd agrees. So let's chat about that, Todd, because I think people need to know they don't have to hustle and grind all the bloody time.
No, and it goes back to, I don't know about you, Karen, but when I did my research, everyone said you got to do the weekly cadence. So it's that kind of imposter syndrome, if you will. Everyone else is, so I need to do that too.
Yeah.
And like you, I started off doing a weekly cadence, and then next thing you know, I'm not enjoying it as much. And you said resentful, and same thing. And then business started kicking up, and this isn't really a money generating a machine for most of us. It's a passion play, and I wasn't really enjoying the episodes. I couldn't even take in my own conversations. It was just churn and burn. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go to a bi-weekly. Oh man, that is the best thing I've ever done. Now I can really enjoy it and savor it and put some marketing behind it. And I love that. So I think it goes back to being intentional. Right?
It does, doesn't it? And what we've got to we've been brainwashed with it. Well, I haven't because I'm too old. I'm not getting into that shit fuckery. I'm just too old for that. But it's
Right.
this hustle grind, And actually, I started mine because of COVID, and I knew that if I didn't do something to show up every week, then I was just going to stay in my pajamas and not really give a shit. But I also started singing a song every day and putting it on Facebook as well. And just because that was my intentional method of staying above, the depressive, shitty situation of COVID. So
Above. I love that.
yeah, but
Yeah.
as we and that's when I kickstarted my business as well. I went out on my own and thought, and right when COVID hit, but as business has grown, once we all got back to work and everything else, exactly like you, the business starts taking off, and then you're kind of like, well, where am I going to put my effort? People are paying me good money. Do I want to half show up because I've got my mind half focusing on podcasts that, like you, enjoying the conversation in the moment, but not enjoying the production and the editing and oh shit, I haven't put that on Instagram yet. I've got to get that.
Right.
Oh, damn it. And then I started hating Instagram and I hated social media. And it was kind of like,
Yeah.
I just got to cut myself a break. So I
Yeah.
think, there's a lot of people out there who listen to this thinking that, well, I've got a personal belief system that's not always helpful, about, I hate lazy people. And, sometimes that can overspill a little bit, whereas I make a judgment before I really know if that person's being lazy or if they're just taking a break. So sometimes it works against me, having this bias. But there will be other people out there with that kind of long-term belief, or, really inherited belief maybe of, I'm a hard worker. I pride myself on, it's wearing that badge of honor, of being the hard worker, not being the lazy one, being the reliable one that shows up. And I think that can be really done. It's a great ethical kind of backbone to have, but it's not
It
always
is.
helpful. You know?
It's not. It's
No.
not. And I love how you said that badge of honor. I grew up blue collar,
Yeah.
middle of the road, if you will, in terms of income and family. And, folks did the best they could, worked two jobs.
Yeah.
But that's how I grew up. And you grind, you
Yeah.
work. And putting in that time was what I thought I needed to do, especially as an entrepreneur. You
Yeah.
start a business, and I don't care what business you're in or
Yeah.
what goals you have. It's a lot of work. You're starting
Yeah.
from scratch. You're wearing every single hat.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you're burning candle on both ends, and that's fine if you're in your 20s. But you'll probably agree as you get up there. I'm in my 50s now. I can't do that anymore, and honestly, I don't want to, Karen.
Yeah, the same.
And
Yeah.
so I love your story, and I read through your bio on your website, and you're very intentional now. And unfortunately, Karen, for most of us, it takes a trigger, a traumatic event
Yep.
to put the pause on. And I think that's what we're really talking about here, is having that internal pause to slow the hell down.
Yep.
And for lack of a better word, I know it's cliche, but stop and smell the roses, man. Like,
Yeah.
you may not smell them tomorrow, so just enjoy every moment and be intentional about what you're doing. Set the boundaries. Don't be afraid to say no.
Yeah.
And definitely don't wear that badge of honor. Like, you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You said that in your bio. If you're not taking care of yourself, then you can't pour into others and serve others. And I had to learn that the hard way, Karen. And I'm not doing that anymore. I'm too damn old for that. I want to enjoy every moment.
Think you're saying you're too damn old. I mean, you're in your 50s. I'm nearly 63 next, and it's it that too old used to be a horrible thing. It used to be like something we
Right.
wouldn't admit. We were like, pretending to be younger and that. But I mean, I've always been honest about my age, and I'm a young 62-year-old, because I'm an idiot. I like to be like a 16-year-old boy most of the time, but I'm happy to say that's my age, and I'm also happy to say digging holes hurts my bloody back, and I'm also
Right.
happy
But you're
to
still
say
doing it.
I'm still doing it. Yeah,
You're still doing it. I love that.
I'm still doing it. Well, I
You could have
I
hired
really,
somebody,
no,
but you wanted to do it.
I wanted to do it
Yeah.
myself because I wanted to
Right.
find where the pipes were, and I want to put in an extra Anyway, we've got acreage here. We've got 11 acres,
Right.
and
Yeah.
and no, I want to do it myself because I want to understand where the pipes are. I don't want a tradie to come in and do it and then me still not know where the pipes are. Where the hell's the bloody pipes? I want to know where they
Right.
are. That might sound stupid to some people. To me, it's very, very important.
No, I
For the
love it. And it's
landscape.
being curious.
Yeah.
It's being curious
Yeah,
and
I like
learning.
I like to do
Right.
that. It's when you're talking about finding what matters to you, what makes you happy, and you said there was a trigger. My trigger, as you're saying that, and I hadn't put two and two together, yeah, exactly like that. It was my. Now I'm going to I won't go the whole story. Everyone's heard this story, and I'm still fucking angry about it. This equine dentist, butchered my donkey and killed her, and I'm still furious about it. Like I don't know that I'll ever get over that or forgive him or forget about it. And even though I should because it's toxic for me, but you know what? It's just like nah, you're a prick, but what I realized is. And I've only just realized this recently, and I'm actually writing a book on the side. I'm writing 3 books, and I need to stop it. I need to just get my main one out, The
Oh,
Confidence Cap, but I
wow.
keep adding chapters to these other ones. But what I've really, established is that, I tell everyone you got to find the moments of joy, and I do find moments of joy. There's no doubt about that. But what I realize is I had this really terrible, deep underlying sadness, and it was just kept popping up all the time, and I couldn't really understand it. But what I have come to, once I started digging at it, it stemmed from losing my sister 22 years ago. And then we've only been here 8 years on this property, and we've lost 13 pets. Like and plus a lot of other stuff in my life, and then, that's a lot of, I put animals way before humans, so that's a lot of grief and trauma. And it's only just hit me recently that, these big heavy boulders of grief are suffocating my joy. They're stomped on top of my joy, and I've got to now do the work to move these boulders. And I haven't done the work previously. And now that it's come into my conscious mind that I've really figured out what it is, now I can do the work. Now I am just working my way through it, which is great. But you're right, and I think it was the death of that donkey that was my that turning point, but I was not cognitively aware, that was the trigger. But I just got really angry and pissed and miserable, and thought, what about me? It's my fucking turn to be angry, and my turn to bloody do what needs to happen for me, that sort of stuff. So sometimes I think, though, well, what I'm trying to get to is that you say, yes, there's always a trigger. Sometimes we don't know it, sometimes we don't recognize it, and we can't articulate it. Maybe we recognize it because we feel it in our body, but we can't. It doesn't come to our conscious mind so we can articulate it and do something.
Right.
It's hard, isn't it?
Right. It is. And I just want to take a moment to celebrate you and just coming to this, confronting that I can just visualize the pile of boulders.
Yeah.
Right. And I think we don't celebrate enough, the fact that and maybe it took you some time, and it took a bunch of piles, and it was this last one that was on the top to realize this is suffocating me, and I need to do that work. And what I'll say, Karen, in my work in mental fitness, positive intelligence coaching, we have a core concept that we say, find the gift and opportunity in every situation.
Yeah.
Care how ugly it is. The gift might not be there today, it might not be there tomorrow, but it'll be there eventually.
Yeah.
And although I don't know the full details of this, and it sounds like it really, really upset you, perhaps there was an underlying gift, that it was the last boulder that finally allowed you to realize, I need to do some work. So I'm not trying to be have a coaching session here, but at the very least, I did want to just recognize and celebrate that you're making some progress here, just to label it, say, all right, I'm going to do some work. It's time.
No, I appreciate your input on that, and I agree. I agree. I've said, and you said it differently, that's that last boulder, but I've said, recognize clearly, it's that the death of that donkey was the straw that broke the camel's back. That was that last boulder that I couldn't articulate it then. But
right.
Yeah, I think that while we're having this conversation, and I could keep all this stuff to myself, and I'm definitely not doing victim game or shit. I hate lazy people. I hate victims, but I shouldn't say it like that. But that just shits me, that kind of victim mentality. So that's not what we're doing here. That we're being vulnerable, having that kind of conversation, and I'm happy to do it because I don't want to be all proud and pretend that I'm perfect and pretend that I've got all the answers, because I don't. I'm a human. We're all human, and I think to share this information and to talk about it honestly helps other people to go, oh my God, you just helped me unlock that thing that was, I never noticed that before. If we can help one person from this conversation, then what a great conversation. What a success.
It makes all the time that we put into these worth it, right? That's why we do it. It's a passion play. We're not making money off of this. No, it's a lot of time and effort to put together a podcast, Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize that. But anyway, I like meeting new people. I like hearing different concepts. I like hearing people's take on it. I don't I don't do this to be the expert to, I like to say, what's your perspective on that? I really like that perspective. And some things and you'll be the same with yours. Some things you have a guest on and you'll go, that actually shifted me. And others you'll say, I don't really, that's not my thing. I'm not in alignment with that. And that's fine as well. Not that I'm going to say that on air, but
Right,
I
right.
like what you're saying. I
Yeah,
do.
it's a different perspective. I can respect that.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
you're aligned though. It's you talked about in your bio, having early challenges. We often, if you go back to, somebody said to me, I think it was on the last podcast, somebody said that anyone who does sort of back themselves and go out and do big things to make a better world is usually relieving pain. There's usually something like pain
Yep.
for themselves or pain for others, and there's usually something really big, that happened,
Yep.
some adversity that's shifted you and driven you. You talk about something that happened in your 20s or at the start of your 20s. Share with us what that was that made an impact on you.
Yeah, absolutely. So as a young teenager, I started experimenting with drugs and alcohol, like many people do. Well, not making any assumptions, but yeah, that's what I did. And every day, recreational turned into every day, and next thing you know, that's all I was doing was getting high, looking forward to getting high the next day, living for that next day. And I moved in with a couple of guys. One guy I knew, one guy I didn't know, into a house. Essentially, it was a drug house. And I'm not talking hardcore stuff, but nonetheless, that's all I was doing. I was living in a fog. And I got into a skirmish with one of the guys, the one guy I didn't know, and I thought we were good. Kind of slammed him on the ground and put him in his place and said, okay, I'm done. I don't want to, start anything else. And then I went on into my evening with a few other friends, and we went out, partied all night, shut the bars down, and they dropped me off back at the house, and then they left, and those two roommates of mine were waiting up for me, and apparently they had a plan. And no sooner than I sat on that couch, they lunged over at me and started beating the living shit out of me. I mean, beat me to a pulp. One held me down while the other one continued to boom, boom, boom. I still have a chipped tooth to remind me of that day. And Karen, it was probably only 5 minutes. It felt like a lifetime. And, I kept thinking, man, if I can make it to the second floor and get my baseball bat, boy, I could go to town on these guys. And there was no way in hell I was making it up there. I was just trying to get out of that house. And fortunately, I was able to get out of that house and grab a payphone, which many listeners may not remember those, but we didn't have cell phones all the time, and old school payphone, called my father. He picked me up, and I went on my way. And that was what I would call my first fork in the road moment, Karen. So I was living in a fog. I had no direction, no path, and I had a choice to make. I could continue to live that way, or I could choose the other path, which was growth and change, and I chose that other path. 2 weeks later, I enrolled in college. I got my BFA in graphic design, 6 years, and then in 2009, I started my own business, Evolve Marketing, and then here I am today, pivoting into keynote speaking, coaching, and helping others. So that was a moment for me, but circling back to what we were just talking about, Karen, was unfortunately for most people to embrace big change, it takes a trigger. Some sort of traumatic event or near-death experience, right? You hear a lot of people say, oh, I just almost lost my life and I'm going to live every day like it's my last day.
Yeah.
Easier said than done. It takes something to happen. And it's unfortunate that's what happened to me. That was the spark, right? That was the spark I needed to be broken down so far that I had to make a choice. But I still had to make that choice, and I did, and it changed my life. And I've had other fork in the road moments since then, because that was 20, 30 some years ago. I'm 55 now. So that was my pivotal moments in my life, and I chose growth, and I've stayed on that track ever since. But I would love for people to get into a growth mindset all year round. Because I think if we do that, then we don't fall below the line into a comfort, complacent place.
Yeah.
And that's where I was, where we all have a spark, right?
Yeah.
It's just over time, life shits on us and that spark dims.
Yeah.
All we need is a little bit of curiosity, in my opinion. That's the first principle in the Spark framework is curiosity. That is the ignition point. If you stay extremely curious, you'll be open, non-judgmental, and really learning about everything that you can. So,
well,
yeah,
I've got about
that's it.
5 things to say for that. One, first, I'm just going to firstly, the what did you call it? Everyone's got a spark in them, or everyone's got a light in them.
Yeah.
Something.
Everyone's got a spark, yeah.
Yeah, I believe I have this sort of visual concept that I use, and it's same thing is that I believe that we're all born with this magnificent diamond, this beautiful glowing diamond that glows, beautiful colors. It's just in here, and for those who are not just listening, just below your. Just in the top, below your neck, where your throat chakra is, just under there, sort of between your throat chakra and heart throat chakra. And I always think exactly what you said. Life just shits on you, and it gets dirty and greasy, so it doesn't shine anymore. It completely dulls. But I really believe that everybody, and exactly like you're saying, takes response. If you are the master of your own destiny. Every single no one can change that, and nobody can take away the control that you have to actually polish your diamond. Nobody can take that from you, and all we got to do is that dirty work, and scrub that shit off, and it's painful and it hurts and it's horrible, but nobody else in this world can stop you doing that. That is your private thing,
Right.
and I just think, imagine if we were all imagine the planet like a globe, and all of us are like these little LEDs, glowing with our things, but most of us are not. Most people carry all that shit all over them. Can you imagine if the world just turned on and everybody was glowing at their fullest? What an incredible sight that would be, an incredible feeling that would be. That's the first thing. The second thing is, you talk about curiosity being the first thing. No, again, no, hang on, go back first. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget about curiosity. But I want to go back to your drug thing just for 1 second, because you said in that moment you made a choice. And when you have lived even 6 months, and I'm making guesses because I've never been addicted to, I've never been on drugs. Yeah, that's a dirty word for me. I don't like it, but I imagine that even 6 months of being on drugs, and I've seen it firsthand in our family, and that I'm not going to expose anyone on here. It's that craving. I need that. That's how I live. I prefer to live in that fog, because it's easier in that fog. I don't have to address things. I don't have to be accountable.
Right.
Actually, I can just freaking be me on a couch. How did you, when you chose to, get off it and go start your growth journey, how do you control yourself to stay away from that? Because there's got to be self-pity moments that I got beat up. There's got to be life shit moments, and I'm just going to take drugs because that's the easy path out. How did you not do that? How did you control yourself to such a point that you didn't go back to that?
Yeah, it's a good question, Karen. I've been asked that several times, and I don't know that I have a perfect answer, but what I can tell you is that I have a very addictive personality, obviously. And so it could be used for good or for bad.
Yeah.
And I think what I did was learn about that and leverage it. So I went from being addicted to destroying my brain to being addicted to growing my brain.
Yeah.
And just learning. I mean, I just had this thirst. So I didn't go to college right out of high school. I was still partying and doing all that stuff. And then when that happened, I was ready. And when I went, man, I was crushing it. Straight A's, doing the work, doing the extra work, making connections with all the professors. Like I was ready. That was my high, was just growing and learning as much as I could. So I think I was filling my cup in a different way, but in a very healthy, positive way.
I like that you're
Yeah.
saying that about addictive personalities because we often shame, addictive personalities that usually get stumped in the negative bucket. But you're right. If you can channel that into positive, a positive addiction, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. It fills your cup. So
Right.
yeah, I like that. I like that answer. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Good, good.
Yeah. So
So
that's,
but curiosity. So
yes.
before just before we go on to that, there's three things that I do want to talk about. Like it. I mean, of course, I want to talk about everything because I just love. I'm a big curious person, but I want to talk about mental fitness and being a leadership advantage. These are three things that you talk a lot about. They're the Spark framework, which bridges the gap between insight and action, and also embracing change through micro shifts, which I'm a big believer in that as well. So I want to sort of just make sure we cover those as well. But when let's just talk about that Spark framework for a minute, and you talking about curiosity being the first part. Tell us a bit about that framework and why curiosity is the key that opens the door, that very first starting point.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Yeah, curiosity being the ignition point. And I want to go back to Karen, something you said about the diamond.
Yeah.
If you think about a diamond, we want to buy the perfect diamond, right? And what is it, the 5 C's,
I don't know.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Cut, clarity, da 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 da.
yeah,
What if the first of the 5 C's was curiosity?
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yep,
just saying.
yeah,
You made me think there, like, so
yep,
curiosity being what really lets that diamond shine, or
yeah,
is the ignition point, right? So
yeah, yeah,
when we're curious, we can start to be
yeah,
open-minded, get into that growth mindset, and that really sets the trajectory for everything else. So I put together this mindset continuum, which is basically a chart that I created where you have a growth mindset on top, you have the median line, and then you have a fixed mindset below. Carol Dweck's work on
yeah,
mindset. And
yeah,
I mapped out my entire life. And what I wanted to do, Karen, was really explore why I was in a fixed mindset and how I shifted into a growth mindset. And I wanted to look for patterns. That's what I always look for,
yeah,
patterns, right?
yeah,
Good or bad, it's a pattern. Something's happening here, so let's dig in.
yep, yeah,
And the pattern, the correlation to all the things being in a growth mindset or getting back out of a fixed mindset was being curious. So that's why I felt like that was the door, right? That was the way, the gateway to everything else. If you're not being curious, then you're going to be closed off. You're not going to accept feedback, and essentially you're going to be in a fixed mindset. And that's that
yeah,
comfortable, cozy, complacent place where you're not living. Let's be
yeah,
honest.
yeah,
So that's why I really feel like that is the component that really allows us to then start to get into mindset, which is the second principle. And that mindset is really the fuel. So we get the spark going, and then we fuel that spark with a growth mindset. And we start to build that resilience, and that's where it ties into my mental fitness coaching. So we start to rewire our brain, which is what I did during COVID. So I had a choice during COVID, and that was kind of another fork in the road, right? Lots of time, too much time. I could sit around the fire with a bottle of bourbon, which is where I started,
yeah,
or I could choose another path, which was a holistic change of growth, everything, mind, body, soul, you name it. And I hired a coach. He took me through this program called Positive Intelligence. It's about building your mental muscle, neuroplasticity. I rewired my brain, which is
yeah,
absolutely crazy. I went from being a no patience person, knee jerker, temper. I'd go from 0 to 10 like that. No pause, no buffer, nothing, to being the calmest, coolest guy you ever meet. And I have people that know me for years say, I don't even recognize you, Todd. I said, well, I've done the work, brother. And that's what happened. So that changed, that transformed me, Karen. So now I I pause. I don't react. I'm not judgmental. I just take all the information in. I'm calm, collected. Then I can respond, if I respond at all. But that's building that mental resilience so that now you can start to take action. When you're resilient and you're going through change, you're going to fail because you're trying something new. And that's why most people don't, because we have that fear, right? We're fear-based, we're negative bias people, right? Survival mode. Well, I don't want to try anything. I don't want to get uncomfortable because we're so used to being comfortable. Hell, like even our heating, cooling, we don't even want to be exposed to hot or cold anymore, right? That's not how we were created, right? So we need that exposure, and we need to build that resilience so that when we do fail, we can get back up on that horse and keep going. And that's when we can start implementing the action, which is the third principle. And the action is the fire. So we spark it, we fuel it, and then we start to get that fire going. And that's where it feels we're warming up, right? And that's the small micro shifts. Where most people fail in embracing any change is a number of reasons, but one is just the overwhelm. Oh my gosh, this seems so huge. I'll never be able to get there. Like you said, get off the bench, man. You're not going to do it because it just seems unconceivable, whether it's finances or time, talent, treasure, whatever it is, whatever reason you come up with. Well, don't think of it that way. Think of it as small little shifts. If you're going to do one thing, just start with one intentional action and start to build that momentum. Celebrate the victory. And if you fall off the horse and fail, get back on. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. We're not trying to be a perfectionist here. That is one of the worst things in the world. I know, because I'm a former perfectionist. And then once you get that action, you start seeing the change, you get that dopamine rush. You're like, oh man, I can do this. I'm changing. And you can see how that impacts your life. And then you hit the next principle, which is growth. And that is your spark. Realize that's you just went through curiosity, mindset, action. Now you're seeing the growth, and that's the outcome. And then you can get into the final one, which is the impact. And that's the light. Karen, that's that diamond. That's what you were told. That's that diamond just shining bright. And now you have all that influence, all that power and that energy to impact so many people. That's the ripple you have on the world. That's the Spark framework: curiosity, mindset, action, growth, and impact.
Love it. I love it. When you're talking, there's that last little bit. Let's go to that. Well, just love it all. I could open it all up, but that last bit where you the bit where you're talking about micro steps. Do you know that? I talk about that all the time. It's just like just take the first step. You don't even have to know. I do say to people, you have to kind of have a bit of an idea about where you're heading. You've got to have a bit of a vision in your out front of you. Go in that direction. Take the first step. Like step on that first paver. And it might be the wrong paver. It doesn't matter. You step on that first one because now you've got momentum. Now you've pushed that train. Now you're starting to push it. And I always say, forget the 300-step plan. Like get that first paver on the ground. Stand on that bloody thing, because then the next one will show up. And then it's like, now I see. Now I know what I have to do. Because exactly what you're saying, as you take these actions, the next thing appears, and it always does, because we wouldn't have seen that next thing unless we're standing where we are now. We think we're going to, like I say too in my Get Off the Bench book, is that we don't start because we're overwhelmed by the big picture. We just don't do it. And of course, because who would know all those steps? When I started my not-for-profit, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. All I thought was, I'm going to send laptops to Africa. And I thought, well, better figure out how to do that. And it's that curiosity that goes, how can I do that? What if I sent laptops to Africa? Wow. How do I do that? Hence me digging up pipes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I want to share, Karen, this book here. So this is a critical piece
Oh, Atomic
Atomic
Habits.
Habits
Yep.
by
Yep.
James Clear. So I highly recommend your listeners check this out. This
Yep.
is Micro Shifts 101 right here.
Yep.
And I love the story that
Yep.
James uses. He says, look, if you want to if you want to run a marathon, okay, Karen, and you're not a normal runner, which I'm not going to go out tomorrow and
Yep.
just run a marathon. There's no
100%.
way in hell I'm going to do that.
Yep.
What I can do is I'm just going to get my shoes and I'm just going to set them by the door.
Yep.
Step one,
Yep.
micro shift. That's not too much trouble, right? I'm not
Yep.
committing to too much. I'm just setting the shoes. The next day I put those shoes on. The day after that I start a 1 mile walk. And then
Yep.
next thing you know, I'm running a 5K, then a half marathon. And you
Yep.
know what? I'm running a full marathon.
Yep.
But I chunked it out into these smaller projects, right?
Yeah.
Allows me to celebrate, which is hugely important when we're really talking about building new habits. It's
Yeah.
hard as hell to build a new habit,
Yes, it
right?
is.
Especially a good one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you need to celebrate that, right? You need to celebrate because you're going to fail, but get back on that horse and just keep going. And once you get that momentum and that dopamine, then you're like, oh, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to add more habits onto
Yeah.
this. Next thing you know, man, you're living the best life you can live, and now you can pour that into everybody.
Yeah. I
That's
agree.
the rest.
Yeah. I
That's the
agree.
recipe right there.
Yeah. We walk
Yeah.
in the morning and we live on a farm. So we just walk up and down the driveway with the gate locked so the dogs don't escape, because our dogs are stupid. They'd be out on the road chasing hares and God knows what. But it's
Right.
but we were grizzly about it, at first. Oh, don't have to walk, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, yeah, you got to work half an hour a day, it's supposed to do that. And we weren't unfit, but it was just like, oh, I can't be bothered walking up and down a driveway. Then we said, right, let's just do 2 laps. Just do 2 laps and that's it. And then we did two and we're like, oh, we'll just do another one. We're already out here. We'll just do another one.
See?
And so we
Yeah.
built up, we got our 15 minutes in every morning and we did that for about 2 weeks. And I said, no, we've got to go to 20. And we've already doing 15 and it's easy. So we did 20, then we did 30, then we did 45. And then we did an hour, and every day is like you just make it work, and you don't
Right.
you kind of look forward to it. You kind of like, all right, stuff the brekkie down, let's go for a walk, an hour.
Right.
Then this is a point I want to make too. So that's easy, you can do it, and you just shift a few things around, to make it work. But then we went to Cambodia as we do every year, and you in December. You don't really walk around much, so it's kind of like eating really good food and walking around the temples, but that's about it. Then I got sick on the plane, so it's kind of like, nah, it's too, I need to rest, I need to heal. Then comes Christmas, we got too many things on.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Sure.
it was only a couple of early January, we said, we got to do it again. We're just going to have to do it again. Start with 2 laps.
Right.
But what we found, and this is the important bit, is the muscle was already built. And so we did the 2 laps, and then it was
The
like,
muscle.
but let's just do 5, bugger this, and it wasn't hard, because our brains were going, oh, we're doing this again. Okay, I already
Right.
know how. I already know how to do this. So,
It's
so
already
the
there.
point I
Yep.
was probably wanting to make is that sometimes we will fall off the wagon, and then it's easy to say, I used to do that, but I don't anymore. But if we used to do it, our brain's already got that muscle there, and all we got to do is pick it back up again, and it goes, oh, we're doing this again. So I think
Just like
people
that.
forget that
Yep.
part, and fall off the wagon and
important.
stay off the wagon.
Yeah, I love that story. It's perfect. It's a great story. It's very important to mention that because you are there's life happens. Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's too long of a year. There's going to be something. So just be ready. But when you condition yourself, right? When you condition yourself to be uncomfortable, to embrace discomfort, again, it's that resiliency. It just it doesn't bother you as much. And the recovery time is like that.
Exactly.
That's what we're trying to build is that recovery. So it's not like, oh, it takes me 6 more months to get back on that horse. No, I can just get back on it tomorrow. And it's okay. I'm not perfect, and that's okay. The fact is I'm getting back on it.
I 100%. And we're not self-punishing. Like this is another thing that it is we've got to stop, and that's part of your positive intelligence mindset. Stop stop punishing. It's no, it doesn't matter if you fall off the wagon for two. It doesn't matter. And just go easy on yourself and go, well, that's okay. That's okay. Life happens. I'm just going to be gentle. I'm going to get back on it. The other thing I want to say is to that recovery is I talk about that a lot. And I think that is something that is so sorely missed in understanding this sort of stuff is, I do leadership coaching. I talk about above the line and below the line. And I know there's a lot of people out there that say never go below that line, and a leader never goes below that line. A leader stays on top, and I don't say that. I say a leader is human, and you are going to fall below the line, and that's just the way shit happens, But the difference is between a good leader and not is your recovery time and your awareness of that. Be aware. I'm below the line, and no self-punishment, and go, okay, I need to shift. And that recovery becomes faster and faster and faster, and you're still going to slip because there's not a person in this damn world who doesn't go below the line. But
Right.
how long you stay there for, how quickly you recover is the critical factor. Get back
And that's
up there.
that, right.
Yeah.
Right. Get that spark.
Yeah.
Get that spark lit again.
Yeah.
Because it's easy. It's easy to have that spark dimmed, and then it just stays that way.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you're hitting a plateau. Not good. I've seen it in too many great people. So the goal is to get that spark lit and to keep it lit.
What's your take on this? I'm curious for your thoughts because I don't know that there's an answer, but I'm always interested that we know we should not eat junk food. We know we should get 8 hours sleep, or at least enough for our personal body type. We know we shouldn't stay up after 10 o'clock. Like, we know we shouldn't have that coffee, we know it. We know it. We know we should drink more water. All of these things that when we know we should do movement, we know it. And we say it. Like, I'm saying I don't, I do it a bit occasionally, but I'm much more, my recovery's good, But I say it all the time, and it's like, yeah, I know, but what is it, do you think, that we know better? We say we value our lives, but ultimately we still keep making choices that is killing us. Like, why is the human condition so mental that we're on this self-destructive path to kill ourselves early, even though we know how not to? What makes us do that?
Yeah, that's a great question, a very complex question, Karen. I don't know the answer to that. What I can say is that we are adverse to change.
Yeah.
We just know that, right? We are just averse to change, and that it takes a trigger. That's what I've seen. That's what my research shows, is that unfortunately, in order for someone to embrace and make all these changes to their health, they're going to have to experience something that is
uncomfortable.
I hate this, yes, let's just say that's uncomfortable. Whether that is someone close to you, so it hits home, or to you. Maybe you get you have that yearly checkup, and the doc says, hey man, like, your blood pressure's high, your cholesterol's high, you need to make some changes or you're going to have a heart attack. Well, maybe that's what you need. My thought is, let's not have that happen. Let's start to get into this growth mindset where we're just growing all year round. So taking on something new doesn't seem so overwhelming. We're already conditioned to embrace discomfort, to get uncomfortable, whatever that is. But nobody's perfect, right? I love snacks. It is one of my Achilles heel. I love snacks. I'll eat a freaking bag of chips every night watching Jeopardy. Yeah. That's just my thing. I love it. But I also work my ass off in the gym, and I do the other things. It's all moderation and just kind of keeping an eye on things. But we all have our guilty pleasures,
Absolutely, we do.
Yeah.
Every
So I don't
Chris.
think I answered it, Karen, but you threw me a tough one there.
No, I know it's a tough one. I know. I don't. I haven't. I've never had a conversation with someone who says, "Yeah, I exactly know what that is." Because if they did, they'd be a millionaire. They'd be the smartest guy on the planet. But
Yeah.
we're
Our brains
amazing.
are complex.
They
Our
are.
brains are complex, but they're
Yeah.
they're beautiful too. And neuroplasticity, man, we're learning so much through neuroscience now. The research is incredible. We can rewire that thing. We can lay down new neural pathways, build that muscle. You said, build that. That's all habits are. We're just building that mental muscle. So yeah, I think that's key. If we just approach mental fitness and something that we all just need to do. Of course, I'm being a little biased because that's my coaching program, but yeah, it's definitely changed my life and my clients. So yeah.
Well, I think when you're talking also about changing and people saying, "Oh, but I don't want to do a big program." I don't. I'm too embarrassed about that or whatever, or it's too big for me. But here, a little starter, Kickstarter is our reticular activating system is set up to save us, to protect us, and it's a little bit outdated. Although we still need it, we do still need it to make sure we
Yep.
don't make any dickhead mistakes. But basically, what it does is that it scans to validate what we believe, and this. I'm just saying this for our audience. It scans to validate what we believe or what we fear or whatever's on in the front of our mind. But we can also reverse that because it's like if you think people are dickheads and that's on the front of your mind and you're constantly saying people are dickheads, you're going to run into every dickhead on the planet, and even if they're not, you're going to perceive them to be dickheads because that's how you've wired yourself that's what you're looking out for. Your reticular brain system is going, look, psst, there's another one. There's another one. There's another one. There's another. It is
Right.
true. There's another one. But we can actually switch that and go, there are good people on this planet. And then now we start looking for the good people, and then they show up everywhere. And then coming back to your point about curiosity, is that I wonder if there's good people. And just that extra step of curiosity or that extra layer of curiosity, then it's not just there are good people. It's not just a statement. Now it's a hypothesis that broadens. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Broadens the game. Broadens the playing field.
Right.
And now go because you want to say something, and I love it.
Yeah. No, you got me going now. So you can approach it in a couple different ways, right? So you can approach, what I say is, what if we thought about this? Everybody is good people.
Yeah.
We always say, don't make assumptions, right? They make you look like a you-know-what. Well, let's give permission to make this one assumption that everybody is struggling with something.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's just assume that, right? And everybody really who wakes up in the morning and says, I want to be a dickhead. I want to be a really horrible human being today.
Yeah,
I
nobody.
don't think so, right?
Yeah.
So if we can approach it that way, then we're leading with empathy. And man, when you lead with empathy, then curiosity follows, gratitude follows, all these beautiful things follow. You don't know what. You're struggling with something, I'm struggling with something, we all are. Small, big, indifferent, we're all struggling. So when we have that assumption made, then we can start to have a conversation and really learn about people and what they're going through, right?
Yeah.
So it's the whole thing. When you meet somebody, are they guilty until proven innocent or innocent until proven guilty?
Yep. Yep.
Right?
The second one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, but that's the shift, right?
Yeah.
Some people have you're guilty until proven innocent. Well, that's a different approach, and that's going from a negative to a positive. That's the shift. That's a shift. So
Yeah, I love it. I think, and it's so obvious, isn't it? Like it's actually simple and obvious.
all of it is. All
but
this
we're-
is. None
we're
of this.
so-
None of this is rocket science. Honestly, it's. In fact, I just had this conversation today. It is so simple that's why most people don't do it, because it's so obvious. We take it for granted.
Yeah.
Oh, I could do a gratitude practice tomorrow. Sure. I'm grateful. Sure. No, take the time today to sit down, journal it, meditate, prayer, whatever means. Take a moment to just sit in it. Say, man, I'm grateful to meet Karen, have this conversation, love her energy. Yeah, thank you for bringing her into my life. Only takes a minute.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
big
Oh,
believer.
it's really and I love your point about nobody wakes up. And I often say this to leaders that are have got challenging staff. I say people don't wake up in the morning and go, right, I'm going to be a bloody prick today. Do you know? Oh, right, I can't wait to screw people over today. They wake up, they're in fear, they're in pain, they're frustrated about something, they can't control something, they don't feel safe. Do you know, there's something going on for them that is horrible. That they
They're struggling,
hurt
right?
people. So they're hurting like hell. And I do say to leaders, you don't have to be responsible for their pain, but just be empathetic that they do have pain. And that's why they're showing up like they are. And
Exactly.
it maybe there's some people like I also say, possibly there's this tiny little smidgen, a micro smidgen of society that are just fucked. You just, but I still say, but you still have to wonder if something really, really bad happened to them. Like so bad that we can't even imagine, to
Right,
turn
we can't.
like
Right.
that. So,
Yep.
but the majority of
Yeah.
people and the 99.99% of people,
Right.
I reckon, all just want to be happy and do their best with what they've got, and
Yeah. They have that diamond.
they do.
They just need a little push, a little encouragement, someone to help them ignite that spark. It's there. It's there. Yeah.
What if we were just kinder to people? What if?
Yeah. What if? Yeah. What if? I agree. I agree. I try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I really do. I used to live the other way. We're all judging, right? We all have that inner judge. We judge ourselves, we
Yeah.
judge others, and we judge our circumstances. The judge is always there, but we need to quiet that judge and live more sage-like. And
Yeah.
that's the work of positive intelligence, shifting, catching and shifting from a negative to a positive. Man, it's a happy place to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, leading with empathy and gratitude,
And
peace, calm.
yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yep.
it's good for our health too. Like it's
Oh,
very
absolutely.
good for our health.
Very good. Because
When you,
negativity leads to stress, and stress, that'll kill you.
it'll kill you. I know it's I, I speak to a lot of people who say, "Oh, I'm just stressed out," and I'm like, "Well," and I'm a bit brutal. I'm not like a bit of an asshole like that. I say, "Well, stress is cancer. Like it's fucking gonna kill you," and you just don't know. Like it's an invisible disease that is the
Right.
worst of the worst because it's the one that buddy kickstarts everything. And I say there's no badge of honor in being stressed. Like get rid of that stress, even if it's uncomfortable, and even if you have to have that hard conversation, get rid of that damn stress. If you have to leave your job, get rid of that stress because it's your life is not worth like nothing is worth your life.
Right.
It's not. Well, not that
I
everyone
agree.
can get rid of that stress. If you're nursing a husband with dementia or something, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we can't. But
Right, but there's things that you can do. The way that you approach it. Again, if you just have that mindset, that perspective of there's a gift here, a gift and an opportunity, it you'll find it. It's
it's bloody
there.
hard to see it though, isn't it? When you're suffocated
It
by,
it is, yeah. In fact, I've just been promoted to caregiver for my mother, who's going through early dementia,
yeah,
and yeah, it's a lot of time that I quite honestly don't have. So I could look at it as another stack on my plate, or I could find the gift. What's the gift?
you're
I
spending
get
more
to
time with
spend
your mum.
I'm spending more time with my mom, who
Yep.
took care of me. I'm reciprocating. I'm finally now able to pour into her what she poured into me for so many years.
Yeah,
There you
that's
have it.
Well, I'm sorry
So
to hear that for your mum.
yeah, no, thank you. It's life. It happens.
Mm,
I'm trying to, do the best that I can to help her, give her the tools, resources, encouragement to, keep at it. But
mm,
it happens, But again, it's just all in how you perceive things. What's your mindset
mm,
going to be? So I could
mm.
be derailed by negativity and oh, is me, another thing, got to do this for my mom. Well, no, I'm looking at the other way. It's an opportunity for me.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. And you don't
Mm,
know. You don't know what I'm going, right? Again, to
yeah.
the point,
Yeah.
you didn't know that about me. It's not a topic we would talk about, but
Mm,
it came up. We're all
yeah.
struggling with something.
Yeah. There's a
Struggling with something.
Chinese not a proverb, but some Chinese guy. I know it's Chinese. I can't actually think what it is, but some guy said, um, some guru said, if you spend an hour with somebody, you will love them.
Mm.
And I often say that to leaders: sit down, someone, take them out for coffee, take them out for lunch. Just
Mm.
know them, and I believe that. And love doesn't have to be, I'm in love with you, not that kind of shit, but a love for
Right.
someone else's soul. That you
Right. Right.
actually,
Mm.
uh, yeah, I really care for
Yeah.
that person,
I
and
like that.
yeah,
Hmm. I
I
never heard
wish,
that before, but I love it.
no, I wish
I
I
love
could
it.
find it. I wish I could find it. I never been able to find it, but I read it somewhere, and I've never
Hmm.
forgotten it.
I'll,
That
yeah, I'll try to look it up.
it's really nice thing.
Hmm.
Um, but just um, mental fitness
Hmm.
is, you say mental fitness is a new leadership advantage.
Hmm.
Why do you say that? Tell us about that?
Well, because we are in disruption. We're in the biggest
Yeah.
disruption we've ever been in business. It's going to continue. So disruption is change. Change is coming. Change is here. AI, the workplace. We see all the polls: disengage, burnout, mental health. The list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
So as a leader, man, you have a lot of things to consider. All these different generations. Do we come back to the office? Do we work from home? You have that piece on top of everything else and the political climate, all these things, right? So you need to have that resiliency that comes from mental fitness.
Yeah.
That is the competitive edge. That is what most leaders don't have.
Mm.
So being able to catch those what we call saboteurs. Those are all those guys, those
Mm.
bandits like the
Yeah.
judge that are in your head saying, "Oh, Karen, you're not good enough. You shouldn't do this. Don't lead with empathy. Be
Mm.
hard on them. Push them more time, more
Mm.
perform, on and on." So we need to catch those saboteurs, those negative thoughts, and then be able to shift them into what we call the sage brain. And
Yeah.
that's when you're in the sage brain, you're leading with empathy,
Yeah.
curiosity,
Yeah.
peace, calm, joy. I don't know about you, Karen,
Yeah.
but that's where I want to be.
Yeah. Me
I've
too.
led in the other,
Yeah.
in the saboteur world, and I've
Yeah.
led in the sage world. And
Yeah.
man, my business is flourishing by living in that sage brain. That is
Yeah.
a way to lead. So when something confronts you, which it's going to do, especially right now, there's always something, right? I don't care what business you're in.
Yeah.
You're not being derailed and losing time, energy, mental capacity, right? Because you're just spiraling.
Mm.
No, you're catching it. And again, Karen, that recovery time, because
Yeah.
I've built my mental muscle for
Yeah.
5 years now, and I still have my blips, but boom, man, within
Yeah.
seconds, I'm back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Let's find the gift here. And now that I have most of my team trained in it, we all speak the same language.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
know, okay, so we're not saving lives here,
Yeah.
right? It's not the
Yeah.
end of the world. The
Yeah.
server's down. We can't serve our clients right now. What can we do? What can we learn from this, and what can we do next time? Let's
Mm.
not let it destroy our day.
Yeah.
That's
Mm.
it. Yeah. So building the mental capacity to catch and shift from a negative to a positive in the
Mm.
simplest terms. And you do that through PQ reps, through mental fitness exercises, just like going to the gym, just like we've been talking about, Karen, building the mental muscle. Takes reps,
Mm.
building habit. Next thing you know, you're literally rewiring your brain.
Mm.
That's how I went from having a temper to absolutely no temper.
Yeah.
You don't just change 50 years of having that character trait
Yeah.
without rewiring your brain. That's neuroplasticity. Yeah, and this is all based on neuroscience. It works. I've been there, I've done it, and I'm
I believe
taking
it.
teams through it, and they're thriving.
Yeah.
Not surviving, thriving.
Thriving.
That's the difference, because surviving is the bad fear, right?
Yeah.
Let's thrive. That's where we actually live and really have that empathy for humans, the people that we're serving, people that we're leading.
It's not that hard, is it?
It really isn't, Karen. It really isn't. It's just like anything else, making a commitment to it, So, then you got to do the work. To build muscle, I don't care what type of muscle it is. That takes a little bit of work.
It does.
It does.
I have to keep digging holes to keep my arm muscles.
Keep digging those holes, man. Put that fence up.
I love it. Todd, I've loved this conversation. Where can people find you if they want to look up more of your work and get in touch?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me at toddbertsch.com, BERTSCH.com. On my website, of course, I'm on social media as well. I'm very active on LinkedIn, so you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Love to connect. I love meeting. That's part of my mission, is to meet new people, 3 to 5 people each week, have a Zoom chat, meet people like you, Karen, all over the world. Spend an hour to love somebody. Meet somebody,
right.
You're going to find a connection. I mean, that's what this is all about, is just connecting, meeting new people, and hopefully, helping somebody ignite their spark. That's what my mission is all about. Speaking, mental fitness coaching. Absolutely. And check out my podcast, The Bolt, as well. You can find it everywhere, Apple, Spotify.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Karen, this has been great. I've really enjoyed our conversation. I could just imagine us going for that walk and having a hell of a conversation.
Yeah. Me too.
Right?
I have really loved it. Really. I'm going to put all those links in the show notes too, so that people can find you and hope to stay in touch with you too, Todd, because I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. Really.
Yep.
Have.
Same
Thank
here.
you.
Well, you have a great rest of your day.
I will.
And
No more holes.
And we'll keep the conversation going.
We will. Thank you so much, Todd. See ya.
We'll see you. Bye-bye.